Hey folks, before we get started, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Authentic Health. Check them out at shopauthentic.health.com where you can order these premium supplements, F1, F2, F3. That is the foundational stack. That's going to give you your essential nutrients. That's your F1. F2 is going to give you your essential fats. F3 is going to give you your essential amino acids. These supplements were developed by doctors Gus Vickery and Troy Jackson, two of the preeminent functional precision medicine physicians, MDs in the United States. I could not more highly recommend these products. Also, yes, I happen to be a co-founder of the company. That's how much I believe in these supplements. They're the ones that I take in my mission to improve my health, my longevity, my health span, always in all ways. Check it out. That is shopauthentic.health.com. Order the foundational stack right now, F1, F2, F3. And here's the cool thing. That's 3 bottles. That's 3 supplements. That's it. You can throw pretty much everything else away once you have these 3 bottles. That's what Dr. Gus did whenever he set out to create this foundational stack. He wanted to give a patient something that was simple, easy to understand, easy to take, and would cover all their bases in trying to close the gaps between the nutrient deficit that we find in our foods that would help protect our bodies against a lot of the toxins in our food, our water, the ground that we walk on, the air we breathe, all these things. That is what the foundational stack is for. So please check it out at shopauthentic.health.com. Now, here's the show. Mindsets as verbs, not adjectives. How do we become people of action? How do we become someone that is not obsessed with a label, but instead obsessed with doing? We often think about mindsets as labels, fixed descriptions of who we are. In a fixed mindset, people look at themselves and others as a set of adjectives. I am smart. She is talented. He is bad at math. These labels seem permanent, and they define our identity. But the problem with thinking in adjectives is that it focuses entirely on being rather than doing. In contrast, a growth mindset shifts us away from identity labels and toward action. The verbs of our life. Someone with a growth mindset is focused on what they are doing, not how they are labeled. Instead of saying, I'm smart, they say, I'm learning. They don't say, I'm talented, they say, I'm improving. Fixed mindset, identity as adjectives. In a fixed mindset, adjectives become a cage. You're either smart or not smart. You're either good or bad at something. Success or failure defines you in a permanent term. If you fail at a math test, you become bad at math, rather than I didn't study enough or need more practice. A fixed mindset uses adjectives to protect the ego, but it can also prevent growth. When you see yourself as an unchangeable adjective, why would you ever bother trying? Growth mindset. Focus on action. In a growth mindset, success and failure aren't about who you are, they're about what you do. It's a subtle but powerful difference. Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, you ask, what can I do better? The perspective pushes you to focus on the process, the actions you take, the effort you put in, and the progress you make over time. People with a growth mindset are doers. They recognize that the more they practice something, the better they'll get, regardless of whether they are naturally gifted or not. They measure their progress by the actions they take, not by static labels like smart or talented. Verbs are dynamic. Think about this. Verbs imply movement, progress, and change. When you're in a process of doing something, you're growing. Verbs like learning, practicing, and improving describe actions that are ongoing. There's room for improvement, failure, and growth. You're not tied to a static identity. On the other hand, adjectives like good or bad are binary. They leave no room for development. They suggest that your abilities and intelligence are fixed and unchangeable. This discourages effort because if you're already labeled as good, why try harder? And if you're bad at something, why even try at all? Effort over appearance. A growth mindset is about prioritizing effort over appearance. It values the journey over the destination. People with a fixed mindset often focus on how they appear to others, whether they look smart, competent, or talented. They fear failure because failure challenges their identity. But people with a growth mindset see failure as a part of the process. It's a verb, something you do and then learn from. They aren't worried about how they look. They're focused on what they're doing and how they're improving. Embracing the word yet. One of the most powerful ways to shift from a fixed to a growth mindset is by embracing the word yet. Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, say, I'm not good at this yet. The yet adds action to the statement. It implies you're in the process of learning and growing. You're not fixed in place, you're on a journey. Do, don't just be. In life, we can choose to define ourselves by adjectives or by verbs. A growth mindset challenges us to focus on action, to see learning as a continuous process rather than a fixed label. It's not about being smart or talented. It's about working, learning, practicing, and improving. So when you approach your next challenge, ask yourself, am I focused on how I appear, or am I focused on what I am doing? Shift to action, and you'll discover that growth is about the journey, not the label. Continue to improve, always in all ways. That is the embracing of action. Well, that does it for this episode of The Jason Wright Show. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a Texas Titan Media production. Fourth Wall did the music. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Please consider going out to jasonwrightnow.com and signing up for the Vitruvian Letter. Also, please go out to iTunes. It takes like 30 seconds to just leave us a 5-star rating. It does wonders for the podcast. I would be so grateful. And with that, until we meet again, go crush it and endeavor to improve always in all ways. I'm out.